Hey folks, welcome back to the channel 100 before 40 and beyond. In this video folks, I'm going to give you a quick race review. I'm going to talk about what happened at the race, not my race itself, but the organization, whether it was good and that sort of thing. I will do a video on my actual race. I mean, things went south, so the researchers are still out there trying to figure out what really went wrong. I think in football terms, they wouldn't even count it as a shot off target because from 3:30 to 3:49, I can't explain it. I still have to figure out what hit me and that sort of thing. But I'll do a video in the coming week with all the details. In this one, I just want us to quickly talk about the organization of the race and whether you should do it if you can, that sort of thing. As I said in the previous videos, when it comes to registration, that was by way of a ballot. I put my name in there and I was lucky that my name was drawn out. And then we went to the next stage of paying and that sort of thing. And I must say on the paying aspect, I think the fee was a bit steep. I mean, it's a world marathon major, so it's the law of supply and demand. And while we're at that, folks, if you don't get drawn, if your name is not drawn out of this lucky draw, you can try other avenues like travel, tolls, that sort of thing. Of course, you pay a premium, but that's also a way of getting into the race. Okay, like I said, this is going to be a quick race review, so I'm not going to talk about all sorts of things in between. Let's fast forward straight to the race pack collection. So on Friday, while I was still traveling, I kept seeing these stories on Facebook saying, yeah, it's packed, the system is offline. Sounds familiar? Yeah, there was system offline stories. The queues were long, they were not moving and so forth. So I was a bit anxious when I went to collect my race pack yesterday on Saturday. But lo and behold, when I went there to collect my race pack, it was quite smooth sailing. I don't think I spent 10 minutes in that queue. We went straight in, directed to where we're supposed to go. There was only one person in the queue that I joined in front of me. And quick, they printed my bib or my race number and then they gave it to me. They gave me my t-shirt and I was out. So I ended up spending some time checking out the exhibitions in the expo. Well, while we're at that, folks, let's talk about the goodie bag. I thought it was underwhelming. I mean, there was nothing in there. There was only like a few things. It's papers basically because you buy the t-shirt. It doesn't come with the t-shirt. And then all the papers that are in there, they're just like information. And then there are things that you scratch for a draw, but I couldn't quite figure out what this was. And when I scratched one of them, I had to scan it and then it took me somewhere else and I just gave up. So I'm not so sure if that goodie, if we can call it a goodie bag, is worth anything. Of course, they gave you a bag that we would probably use to go and buy groceries at the shops and sort of thing. But I mean, it was underwhelming. I've done smaller races that give goodie bags that are worth more than what we got in this goodie bag. Okay, and because they said there were 58,000 participants, I was also worried that in the morning would have long queues through security checks and then getting to our sitting pens or our waves as they call them. But when I got there, it was moving quickly. It was quite smooth sailing, got through security within a few minutes. There were signs everywhere where you needed to go. Took an almost like half a kilometer walk to my sitting pen, which was E. And there it was also in smooth sailing. There was no pushing and shoving, that sort of thing. Everyone was in a joyous mode. Everyone was in electric mood. They were just waiting for the race to start. And talking about that, it was quite exciting, dancing to the music and all that. And little did I know that things were about to go south. But at least that part, I enjoyed it very well. And when we started running, there was no congestion at all. I managed to hit my pace, my target pace in the first kilometer. That shows you that it was moving, it was smooth sailing. Then along the way, the aid stations as well, I was worried because of these numbers that you may have a problem, that they may be congested, but they were not. In some places they were on both sides of the road, so you could go left or right, and that helped a lot. And I didn't struggle at all. I just picked water and carried on. And they also gave an energy drink. I can't remember the name. I think it's Mortem or whatever. I did not try anything new on rest day, so I just took water and I took my gels, but I'll tell you more about my story. We're still talking about the race organization. And then the medal, this one, quite a beautiful medal. I think it's one of the most beautiful that I've got. I mean, I can wear this with pride. I think on the way back home, I will wear it with pride. And tomorrow is Medal Monday. I leave tomorrow night, so I will take advantage of Medal Monday and wear my medal. Even on Tuesday, I'll take my medal with me. I mean, I worked for it, albeit in a very difficult circumstances. But here it is. It is beautiful, and it says here, Berlin legend. So yeah, I'm counted as a legend, even though my race didn't go according to plan. But that's what running is all about. I mean, sometimes you have a good day at the office, sometimes you have a bad day at the office. If I'm to give it a rating, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, it's a world marathon major, but the goodie bag still worries me. I expected much more. I know it's a commercial enterprise and all that. For example, when I did the Athens Marathon, the authentic, we got backpacks and we got T-shirts. They're also sponsored by Adidas. But here, you got that small bag that I showed you and you had to buy a T-shirt. That really didn't sit well with me. But maybe that's what these world majors are about, because it's a supply and demand. I don't think people even worry about T-shirts and that sort of thing. Just getting an entry for many people is probably the best they could wish for. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I just thought, deduct a few points there. And despite all this, folks, I think it's a race that you'd want to do once in a lifetime. It's an electric atmosphere from the start to the finish. There are spectators along the way. There are bands that are playing there. There are people with massive speakers on their balconies cheering you on. So that part I enjoyed. Even though I was going through my own problems, I still enjoyed that part, to see people coming out. And probably it's not surprising because most of the road were completely closed. I think Berlin kind of comes to a halt, maybe not completely, but I think it kind of comes to a halt and people focus on the marathon. So there you go, folks. When it comes to the organization of the race, I think the organizers did a good job, but the goodie bag still worries me. Maybe I'm just too much of a goodie bag club member, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe there are better things to focus on, but for this one, I was disappointed by the goodie bag. Anyway, that was that, folks. That was the Berlin Marathon. The 50th anniversary one is gone. To get another special one, you probably would have to wait for 5 years for the 55th and then 60th and so on and so on. I'm glad that I was part of this historic moment, and my race review, my actual race review, is coming in a week's time, and you don't want to miss that one. A lot of good and bad things happened, and I'll tell you all about it in my actual race review. Thank you for following, folks, and please, if you've not subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you have not pressed the notification bell, please hit that notifications bell so that you get notifications when we post something new. And folks, it helps grow the channel, and that means a lot to me.